What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon account. You click it. You can become a member. All you got to do is try, recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to, so click the damn link. Now, that being said, we are here to go ahead, and we're going to react to the Jonah Hill news. Now, Jonah Hill was recently in the news for emotionally battering, or what was it called? Like basically emotional abuse with Sarah Brady, right? Which is his ex-girlfriend who's like a freaking surfer, right? And she alleges that Jonah Hill emotionally abused her, and she released a series of text messages, a lot of which is mostly Jonah Hill basically saying like, hey, you know what, like you taking pictures with men and you being in revealing clothing, like I'm not really into that. If you could take those things down, so on and so forth. Like this is the thing. This is how I feel about them. I'm not really happy about it. Take it down, right? Now, here's the thing though. A lot of people are like, yo, Jonah Hill's controlling, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. I'm not going to go over every single text message just because it's way too freaking many, right? But I do want to highlight one. Bear with me. I need glasses, and this font is little as hell. Plain and simple. This is sent from Jonah Hill. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendship with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in bathing suits, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right person for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. And there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnerships. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. All right, anyway, so these are the boundaries that Jonah Hill sent, right? And honestly, he gave her an out. In that text message, it says specifically, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. That is literally him saying, like, look, these are the things that bother me, or these are the things that I'm not going to be digging. If you don't like it, you can bounce. Like I'm not going to hold no grudges against you. I'm not going to be like hating you forever. You can literally bounce. She had more than an opportunity to leave, and yet she still remained and sat back and deleted messages and deleted pictures and deleted this and deleted that. And she went to couples therapy with him, and you know the therapist gave her input on the relationships, so on and so forth. But I just want to highlight this message because this message is basically giving her an out, and she did not take that out. He told her, look, these are the things that I'm if you're going to be in a relationship with me, these are the things that I'm not really digging. Boom, you know. But on the other hand, I will say this. Jonah Hill knows that she's a surfer, right? She's a surfing instructor. Now, she can wear a full body surf suit. She doesn't have to be surfing in like underwear in the top. Like she could be surfing in a full body suit. Now, as far as the pictures go, if they're pictures that are for her modeling, Jonah Hill should be very very in tune with whatever she's doing modeling wise, so he should already kind of have an idea like, okay, if she's modeling, these are the type of modeling pictures she takes, and he should kind of have an understanding of what that entails. Okay, so that part is kind of weak. However, if it's just like she's taking pictures to make it kind of seem like she's just like trying to thirst trap for clicks and views and likes, then that's something completely different. All right, but at the same time, again, I see Jonah Hill giving her a way out. Now, there was something else. So basically, she, like I said, she went on this long tirade about basically accusing him of just mostly abusing her. And at the end of the day, like reading through most of these messages, he clearly gave her a way out, and she clearly bought into it. So it's just like, if that's the way you feel, then and you feel like he's trying to control every aspect of your life and he's emotionally abusing you, then you could just bounce. You know what I mean? He gave you a way out. He wasn't like calling her an idiot. He wasn't calling her a whore. He's not like basically downing her every single day. He gave her a way out. He's like, this is what you can do, and she was really upset because I think that at one point either Jonah or the doctor uh basically said that when men approach her that she could just kind of like say, oh, I'm gonna go talk to my boyfriend and go paddle away. That shit sounds crazy. Oh, my boyfriend's over there. That kind of reminds me of the I'll get you again next time, Optimus, and then he flies away and shit. But again, if she is a swimming instructor and these men are her clients, then I don't see any problem with it. This is the logical standpoint. Jonah Hill needs to understand that if she has male clients, it is what it is. Like, you can't really do nothing about that. Now, if you want her to be like a stay-at-home person or something like that, I mean, that's between you and her. But at the end of the day, if she chose not to do it, Jonah Hill also has kind of like the power to in the relationship. Now, from one of the text messages that I read, she did insinuate that he ended their relationship before. So he does seem very verbal about being willing to walk away from a relationship. He's like saying like, this ain't what it is. This ain't what I'm like. So if they got back into a relationship after he essentially ended it, I'm sure that they came to some sort of commonality where they both felt like they could be on the same page, right? But I think this is very weak of her that after the relationship ended, that she's throwing out all these messages and trying to make him look like a terrible person. Because, like I said, reading through all these messages with context, I mean, even though we don't have like a lot of context, we kind of have to just base it off of like the way that the verbiage is, and we have to base it off of the way that the conversation is flowing. Yeah, dude, like, I really don't understand what her aim was for this, because honestly, it makes her look kind of dumb to me, because he clearly gave her an outing and she didn't take it. Now, if he would have been like holding her hostage, then I think that's a little bit different. But that doesn't seem to be the situation here. So in this regard, I am going to go ahead and side with Jonah Hill, and I'm going to say that I don't think he did nothing wrong. He was very upfront with her. He told her, this is what I like. These are my boundaries. If this is going to work, this is what has to be done. If you can't do that, then you're more willing to walk away. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to hold any grudges against you. That was like the kindest kind of like boundary setting I've ever seen in my life. He could have really just like went off and was like, oh, you're a fucking whore. And look, why do you have to show your ass off in these pictures? Do you have to do this? Do you have to do that? He didn't do all that, and kudos to him for doing that. And then also for them both to go to like therapy, couples therapy. So there's that. But then Jonah Hill's name was also brought back into the light when Nickelodeon star Alexa Nicholas accused him of being of basically forcing his tongue down her throat. Alexa used to be on a show called Zoe 101 on Nickelodeon. She's also appeared in various television shows, including That's Life, Hidden Hills, Revelation, and The Walking Dead. Now, she accused Jonah Hill at a party with Justin Long to have basically, she was 16 years old, allegedly, and Jonah said, hey, Jonah was 24 at the time. He said, I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. You want one? She said, sure. She followed along with him. She's waiting for the cigarette. And then apparently he supposedly threw her against the wall and stuck his tongue down her throat. I guess he didn't really learn anything from Jules and Superbad. So, but no, I mean, like, seriously though. Here's the thing though. Alexa has an organization called Eat Predators, right? And this organization was created after her divorce from her longtime husband, or her husband in general. And here's the thing, though. Her divorce, because she was divorced to Milosh, some Canadian, some Canadian musician or something like that. And she's, just to give you context of who Alexa is, after their marriage, I want to highlight this, after the marriage ended, right? They both signed this paperwork in the court that basically said that any claims that they have against each other, they're invalid, right? They filed this paperwork after they had the divorce. Now, after the divorce happens, Alexa accused her husband of basically grooming her since she was a kid, right? Basically saying that he was grooming her since a kid, and then basically waited till she was 18 and then pounced on her. Now, it's important to note that she messaged him, asked him a question, and He asked her for a number. She gave it to him, and then they started, according to her, and they started messaging each other throughout the time frame. And he's kind of kept his distance, but the conversations were supposedly sexual and flirty at the same time. And then when she was 18, he flew her out to Berlin and then fucked her. That's according to him, right? According to her, they had sex, and everything was fine. And then they got divorced, and then after divorce, she signed some sort of paperwork that says that she can't, that they both have to like kind of like release the claims for each other. I guess anything negative they have to say about each other, like they're basically like waving it off. Um, and then recently Alexa got back in the news and she sued her husband for sexual abuse and some other heinous acts, and saying that he groomed her since she was a kid. And what ended up happening is she dropped it, and then he countersued her for defamation of character, and then his case was thrown out for the lack of evidence. And she claims that she's going to refile, but at the same time, like, I mean, this is kind of cold cut. Like, if she has evidence, I'm sure, like, if you guys are emailing each other, if you guys are messaging each other, if you guys are texting all this crap, I'm pretty sure you have some sort of paper trail. This should be very, very easy to like kind of like show that this happened. If you guys are messaging each other for 4 years, I'm sure that you got some messages from him that shows something, right? It shouldn't be hard for her to do this. It should be kind of like very quick in regards to like just suing and proving your point. So for her to drop the case, it seems kind of like questionable. And she claims that she's going to refile the case, but I honestly don't know what in the world that she's waiting for. If you're going to refile the case, I would imagine just doing it, you know. And then, like I said, if you have evidence, I mean, this should be really clear cut. You know, you have to basically show that all you have to do is just show that and he basically kind of participated or negotiated or inferred or said any sort of sexual thing or asked you to do sexual activities as you were underage. And I mean, if you prove it by showing the date on the damn document, like an email or something, then I mean that's pretty clear cut. So for her to drop the case, I don't know. To be honest with you, that kind of makes me question her credibility. And I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm not saying that she wasn't groomed, because I know that the music industry and Hollywood is a fucking sick thing. But again, if you have this evidence, produce it so that you can get this person in trouble, you know. And also, what is she seeking? Like, is she seeking him to be in jail, or is she seeking financial compensation? That's also another thing too that makes it very questionable. I don't understand. I need to know what she's seeking in order to figure out her motive here, right? Because honestly, this thing, a lot of these people feel scorn and they just suing each other for money because they're trying to hit you in the pockets because they know that the pockets is going to hurt. But anyway, back to my point. With that being said, her truth telling, her character is very questionable. Again, I don't know I'm not saying that she wasn't groomed or abused by her husband or any of that stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that her not producing the evidence and her dropping the case seems very questionable. And also her timing of the case, right? It's wild that as soon as you guys get divorced, all of a sudden, boom, this is when all this shit comes out. It's like it seems like you're hurt. And that's just me though. Like, again, or maybe you being hurt made you reveal the truth. I don't know. I don't want to call nobody a liar, because abuse and grooming minors is disgusting. And yeah, like, I'm not condoning that in any shape, form, or fashion. But however, I would like her to produce evidence in order to appease these allegations, because those are serious allegations. Those are life-changing allegations. Those aren't just something that's not a label that you could just tack on somebody and everything's going to be hunky-dory in a year. Like, that's a label that's going to stick with you. I mean, look at R. Kelly. Like, that motherfucker's a sick individual, and that the label is stuck with him, and rightfully so. But that's all I got. But anyway, I don't know much. I don't know the validity of Jonah Hill kissing her. I don't know the validity of that, but she has gone on a point out spree where she said that even the dude from CSI Miami abused one of her friends or something like that. I don't know. She and the fact that she has this organization, I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I honest to God, I don't know. But like I said, based off of her actions, her reputation is seeming a little shaky and questionable. But I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm making that very clear. I'm not saying that she's lying, but I'm just saying that her character is questionable with the actions that she's had. But anyway, Jonah Hill in a situation with his ex-girlfriend, I think he's completely in the right. In regards to Alexa, if he actually did this, fuck Jonah Hill. He's a sick individual. He should go to hell and die and burn and all that good shit. But if Alexa is lying and just trying to like stand up for her homegirl or her woman in arms, and she's making these crazy ass accusations just to like shit on Jonah Hill's character, and then she's nothing more than a piece of shit either. But it all depends on if the accusations are true or false. So that's all I got. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think? You guys think that Jonah Hill was in the wrong for the way that he approached his girlfriend by setting those boundaries? Or do you think that Jonah Hill actually did those things that Alexa is claiming that he did, forcefully kissing her at the age of 16 when he was 24? Let me know in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys have a magnificent day.